Hello, welcome to another GoldMine 101, our regular series of short presentations giving you hints and tips for getting the most out of GoldMine CRM. And in this session, we're going to cover what's called detail records. Now, this is a little bit like a part two of our customizing GoldMine presentations. On the last one, last week on GoldMine 101, we covered user-defined custom fields. Pretty obvious thing for any organization using GoldMine to track pertinent profile and categorization information about your contact records. Well, detail records is the next step, the next thing that you can tweak in GoldMine. And they're a powerful way to store more, shall I say, additional information relating to a contact record. So think contracts, equipment, products, interests, or any other data you need to record multiple times for a single contact record. They're perfect for capturing that kind of one-to-many relationship. So this thing that you want to record, this contact might have multiple entries, multiple things of this particular type. So where for example, you've got multiple contracts or multiple pieces of equipment to that site linked to that contact, that would be an ideal candidate to use detail records for. So how do they differ then from user-defined fields? Well, user-defined fields are custom fields that you add to a main contact record and ideal for storing extra piece of information, single piece of information like industry type or some other phone number or where there's just one particular entry for that thing relating to a contact. So detail records, on the other hand, they are very efficient in their space. With user-defined fields, when you create a user-defined field, it's actually creating that field against every record in your database, even though that record may not contain that entry. Whereas detail records, GoldMine is only taking up, it's quite efficient, GoldMine is only taking up the space required for that detail record entry for that particular contact. If a contact record doesn't have this contract, doesn't have products, it's not taking up space in your database. And that way, detail records can be really nifty, really fast to work your way around the system. So, hello, my name is Tim Wilmot, and my company, Wizard Systems, we're a specialist CRM solutions provider who help out mainly small and mid-sized organizations improve their sales productivity, marketing, and customer service through the use of simple and affordable solutions like GoldMine. The audio part of this call is one way only. If you've got any questions on what we're going on about, please pop that into the question section. Be happy to answer that at the end. And also I'll give you an update on any GoldMine product news we've got for you as of mid-May 2025. A little bit of information about Wizard Systems. We're a long-standing supplier of GoldMine CRM. We've been implementing and supporting GoldMine now for many, many years. And as a leading solutions provider, we actually offer a number of different CRM solutions, CRM systems, not just GoldMine. And the key benefit then as a multi-solution provider is the ability to match the ideal CRM solution based on what you want to do, your budget, your type of industry, and your specific requirements. And with experience across these major solutions, we've got the know-how to guide customers through selecting the best software and customizing it to your requirements. So if at any stage in the future you want to move away from GoldMine or thinking about something different for whatever reason, then please contact us at Wizard Systems. We're best placed to, with our range of options, best placed to move your GoldMine data into any new CRM solution. But as regards GoldMine, we're a one-stop shop. We provide any kind of service around GoldMine, the product, upgrades, support, training. Training can be your place, our place online, and the ongoing support as well. Here is a contact record, and we are on the details tab. That's one of the standard tabs that you get with GoldMine, and a deliberate second area that you can customize. So you can customize that and create new records by right-clicking, and from that local menu there, you can select new, and then from the detail record drop-down list, you can select one of the existing detail records that are being created. You could, of course, create your own new one here. And when you put in one of these entries, you've also got straight away a reference for that detail record type. So I've selected hobbies. Maybe I'm tracking hobbies against my contact record. So I go to reference here and I can select the relevant reference for that particular contact. Now you do have some additional tabs here. So the next tab along is called info. This exposes some additional fields that might relate to this detail record only. So if it was golf, for example, maybe I put in there, maybe I want to track what handicap they are, or what golf course they play, or what level of experience they've got. So you can relabel these fields here for the purpose of that particular detail record type. You've also got, if I go back to the main detail tab there, you've got some basic notes there as well. So let me now show you, and you can put these detail records on a tab of their own. So I've got campaigns here. You can actually click here and see all of the campaign record types. So the details tab will show you all of the detail records, hobbies, campaigns, whatever product, whatever detail records you created. But deliberately, if you use this feature a lot, then it's a good idea to have it displayed on a tab of its own. So I've got one here I've created previously called product, and I've got two product detail records here. And if I just right click here and then edit this from that local menu, I can explain a little bit further about how you might want to customize and use these custom detail records. So here is one I've created already. So the detail record type is product, and then under the reference, I put in there the reference of that particular product, and I could have selected that from a drop-down list as well. On the info tab, I've relabeled some of those fields. You can see this looks a little bit different, a little bit more logical and understandable for the additional information that I want to track about this detail record. So I've got here maybe the users, the version, supplier, installation, release, serial number, and so on, relating to this particular product. On the audit tab, we've got there who actually created this record and who last updated it. Typical thing you find in many places in GoldMine, who created the record and who last updated that record. Quite useful from an audit trail point of view. Now, you admin users out there, you get to, using this setup tab here, this is where you can actually relabel those fields for the type of information that you want your users to put in. So these fields here, field 1, field 2, field 3, field 4, they actually relate to a database table in GoldMine that's used for a number of different purposes in GoldMine. So you have to align the additional information that you may want to record. You have to kind of think about this and plan it to make it fit to the type of format and the length, the width of that field. So for example here, field number 1, I've relabeled that as users, number of users. Deep down in the database, that is called the title field. Don't worry too much about this right now. That's actually called the title field and is 35 characters long. Field number 2 that I'm using, that I've using for these products entries, is called version. That is in a field name in this database called link account. Again, don't worry too much about the name, but the important thing is it's 20 characters wide. So if you've got something that's may want to go in there as 21, 22 characters, well, you're going to have a little bit of an issue. So look at those numbers there. Just satisfy yourself that the type of information that's going to go in there will fit in. So they're basically text fields. Also, right down at the bottom, we've got the tab name, product. So that's my tab name there, product. And you can also save those tab column positions as well. If I just click cancel that, that's these column positions that I've got here. So if you want them in a particular sequence, you can do that. Now, also a little tweak that you can introduce into this. If I just edit this record again and go to setup. Some of these field entries in the setup, I have put in 2 asterisks. This blanks out, this disables that display the usage of that field. So if I go to info, you'll see some blanks appearing here in that middle section, a blank there on that second column. So I've thought about my product entries and I thought, well, these are all the fields I need to track product information in a very simple way. But I don't need to use this field, this particular field called dear, that's 20 characters long. I don't need to use this field here, that's 20 characters long. You can disable those if it's not relevant. And that just, again, makes it a little bit simpler for your users. You've got to think about your users and using these detail records every day. You want to make it really simple for them as regards the fields that you're using and the sequence, the display of those fields as well as regards those column positions. So that's simply how to set up your detail records in the first place and the option of putting them on a tab all of their own as well. Uses of these detail records. Well, it's a really nice way. It's very, very easy to set them up. Very easy for users to record and track and share this additional contact information. You can also use it for creating groups in GoldMine for some other purpose, typically a marketing exercise or doing some other database type work. So really easy for creating groups. And because, going back to what I said earlier, when you create a detail record entry, it is only creating an entry for that particular record. Whereas user-defined fields, when you create a new user-defined field, it's creating that for every single record in your database. So if you've got 100,000 records, that field is created 100,000 times. You may only have an entry in a few records, but using that user-defined field could take some time on slower systems, could take some time to create that filter group. Whereas detail records, very efficient. GoldMine is only creating the entry for that detail record in the database. So it's really fast when you're creating groups, pretty much instant. You can use groups for reporting as well. The built-in report writer, dashboards in GoldMine, and third-party reports. You can also use it for automated processes. It can create detail records. It can trigger on detail records. We have covered that in other previous GoldMine 101s. So it's a really flexible way to track your additional contact information. As regards any limitations, you may think, well, what's the catch? Are there any negatives or downsides to detail records? Well, a couple. First of all, you've got a limited number of fields. As I showed to you, the additional fields that you can relabel, that pretty much is it. All right. So if you've got a type of detail record that requires you to track 50 bits of information against, well, we're going to have to think of a different way of tracking that information in GoldMine. So limited number of fields, and you've got to stick to that text type data format as well. So there are some sneaky ways of recording maybe data information, putting data information into a text field, but essentially they are text field. But on the plus side, there is a plus to it. It's really easy to set up. As you can see, just takes a few seconds to set up. Just got to think about the lookup values, then give your colleagues, your users, a little bit of training on the use of that, the use of this new detail record. No coding required. Very simple, very easy, and quick to set up. So that's detail records for you. Hopefully that was of interest to you. And if you're not using detail records right now, hopefully that encourages you to give it a go. And just think about the type of data that you're wanting to track. Is it the information you want to track? Is it one-to-one? Is there a one-to-one relationship with the contact record that owns that bit of information? Or is it one-to-many? Are there multiple entries of this thing? Right, so are there any questions, please? And if you're watching and recording this, then you can obviously email us or pop that into comments on YouTube. So question from Louisa. Can I automate the creation or updating of data records based on specific triggers or workflow rules within GoldMine? So half. You can automate the creation of data records. So it is an action type in automated processes. I've mentioned you can trigger on a detail record as well in a particular automated process. I should say automated processes, for those of you that may not know, this is the automation workflow part of GoldMine, and this is where you can get it to do automatic things for you. But these things that GoldMine does, it needs a trigger. It needs to, when you define the automated process, you've got to tell what GoldMine is looking at to carry out a certain action. So with this question, yes, you can create a detail record as an action based on a trigger. Yes, you can trigger on a detail record, but you can't, I think, yes, you said updating. You can't update an existing detail record. You can't delete a detail record. You can't update an existing detail record. If that, hope that answers your question there. Curtis, how can I report on or extract data from custom detail records across all contacts for analysis? Are there any recommended tools for this? Well, you've got, okay, so you've got the group building wizard, the group building feature in GoldMine, and then you can export data from that. You can also right click where you display the list of records. When you create your group and you display the list of records, you can right click and output to a CSV type file or Excel from that local menu. You can use the built-in report writer in GoldMine. You can use the dashboards in GoldMine to report on this. And it will support other third-party tools as well, Power BI, Crystal Reports. They will all can look at and read that those custom detail record types. Question from Shane: when should I use a detail record instead of a custom user-defined field? Well, that's back to the information that you're thinking about that you want to track. Is there generally just one of those things per contact record, or can there be multiple things? So if you're thinking about tracking contracts or assets or products, typically there might be more than one of those per contact record, per company, per organization record. So that's where you would use a custom detail record. User-defined fields is best for storing sort of single or static pieces of information directly against that main contact record. So hopefully that answers your question, Shane. Right, don't think there's any more questions. So, latest news for you as of mid-May 2025. Latest release of GoldMine is 2025.2. You've got to be on a maintenance contract from Wizard Systems to be able to access these updates and apply them to your GoldMine system. So you need to have that annual maintenance contract in place. A very affordable annual service which allows you to access all these updates as and when they become available, and then you apply them to your GoldMine system. Very straightforward, but we also do provide a service to apply those for you if you would like us to do it for you, not yourselves. Would you like an overview of the marketing options for GoldMine? So we're doing a 2-hour online course next week on the marketing options. There's quite a few options available for GoldMine to do more proactive outbound mailings. We're going to cover all those options and go through a little demo for you so you can make your choice. And do you have any suggestions for future 101 sessions? Any topic in GoldMine that you think would be of use to or of interest to other GoldMine users out there? Then please contact any of us at Wizard Systems. So thanks very much. Those of you on here live or if you're watching a recording, thanks very much for watching this. We'll catch up with you soon on the next GoldMine 101. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye.